Mind is a sunny blue sky. And unfortunately, it's also a modern problem. Space fence is gray, anti-life, hive mind. Life is not such a mystery when you're for sure that we're all one. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. It's like a little prayer. I'm gonna take you there. In the midday sun, I can feel the one. Life is not such a mystery when you know that we're all one. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. It's like a little prayer. I'm gonna take you there. In the midday sun, I can kill all that stands between me and the one. Mind is a sunny sky, and space fence is a gray anti-life hive mind. Space fence is really the result of anti-life ETs unchecked control over years, over decades, over almost a century, really. Unchecked control for almost a century. Okay, how's that? Okay, so Carlos Castaneda said in one of his books, or several of his books, and how the modern writer Howdy Mikowski pointed out that he said the Flyers gave us their mind. What does that mean? The anti-life beings, the Satans, the Luciferians gave us their mind, literally, through mental and physical implants, through the acceptance of external tyranny over tortures, over forced breeding, over warfare for centuries. The acceptance of external tyranny often comes after we refuse to accept this obvious fact. Thus, shadow work is the hardest part and the biggest key to expansion of your inner truth, of the inner truth that we are all the Christ, the same thing, so that you don't mess it up. You got to do the shadow work. It's kind of tragically lame that people can't see it. Mark Passio, says something like this. I didn't write it down. Most most people's egos are too big to notice, or to be willing to look at the fact that they've been fooled, that they're still obedient, basically that they're still obedient separate egos capable of narcissism, war, and those that are still obedient in their separate egos capable of narcissism are in delusion. The real mind The real mind of creation is a fully awake, aware, enlightened, healthy human mind. Spirit in the human mind that's fully awake, who recognizes the brain as just a receiver and the body's taskmaster. The brain is the body's taskmaster. The real mind of God is in everyone and everything. Cancer, for example, is a mutation that results from the will of the spirit of the person in that body, from whatever reason, from obedience or fear, strongly rejecting this fact, stubbornly obeying the ego contents, or what Lucifer forces them to try, or tries to force them to do, causes this mutation, man. when you add extreme tyranny or extreme trauma, um, as well as a bad diet, usually. The real mind of a living Christ and a human is just like a big sunny blue sky, crisp and clear, aware, in a constant congress or relational concert with the sun. Also, why an obedient slave will think loving warm-heartedness is wrong, because these cyborgs don't have access to the sunlight. Okay, a real obvious statement in this whole narrative, crazy ideological battle between the truth I'm showing you now, that the sun can heal you, and the anti-life beings trying to take it all over, is they would say the sun is bad for you, and then offer you some commercial sunscreen, offer you some commercial sunblock that's filled with cancers that literally physically cause cancer on your skin directly. I mean, how blatantly obvious can you get? Now it's been proven, you know. And then their narrative of global warming, that they got to dump this stuff to cool it or to block out the sun. It's such a trashy, insane, totalitarian, anti-life idea. Um, Humans are the first species on Earth now. Many say, that are on the planet now that we can see with our in the 3D with source consciousness, the mind, the mother, father, God, soul, Helios. In other words, we are given choice. The free will is the gift of God, not the government, the gift of God, because we are made in the image of the sacred divine Christ originally here. So, through millions of years of wars, infiltration, implants, inversion, and millenniums of slavery, we have the mind of the Antichrist within. This is a big key and often very, very difficult part of becoming aware, because if you've spent your entire lifetime within the evil alien's grafted hive mind, inverted, exoteric, self-conscious, all you've ever known is the sky is for pollution, smog, heavy metals, nanotech space dust, and artificial nanotech atmospheric rivers. There is no sun or solar awareness. Solar awareness becomes a distant myth or history, memory of the past. There is no mind of God. You took the shots. You're here. You took the shots. You're here just for the mortgage. You are a slave. The sky has always been just gray. You're going to have the Mandela effect with it. The weaponized humans' souls they weaponize human souls need to serve others by forcing you to think you had to pay the rent, the taxes, the mortgage, to be a slave for the box. This doctor that Jordan Peterson had on his show said that they weaponized empathy in 2020, using their tools against them. Well, I'm not the only one who had this idea. Of course, Satan and Lucifer's clubs had the idea that they could use the human superpowers of empathy and loving kindness against them, and unfortunately it worked with more than half the population, it looks like. Imagine how this person will feel in the blazing hot sun when they find out that the real awareness of the blazing hot sun, what it's like. Ascension, the person who believes in all that they're told. The ascension window. The sun is giving solar DNA upgrades. People are saying, here on YouTube and Odyssey. So tune into the multidimensional power, sunbathe, and they say it'll increase your psychic awareness. Give you DNA upgrades. The sun is half the life, the source of warmth, what makes everything grow. But to the reptilians and the Anunnaki, who seem to me have no heart, warmth, or empathy at all, so they don't want us to have these superpowers they can't understand unless they can harness them for their energy. So they try to remove these useless qualities from us. These qualities they think are useless. One way is space fence. In 2021, they said it's fully operational, programmable nanotech and heavy metals, a massive frequency control fence that can literally block the sun and a lot of the earth if they wanted to, wherever if they wanted to. It's in etheric yet 3D. Will cause more massive planetary die-offs for sure and mass extinctions if they don't if we don't put an end to it in the next couple of years. It's extremely evil and anti-life. It can and will bring in the remote controlled hive mind even more so than it's already working now. The definition of the reptilian hive mind is, guess what? Groupthink equals mind flunk, folks. Remember, open your mind and clear the cobwebs and shadows, residues to see beyond the sick skies of the fake God, intercessor, middlemen, and regain your individuality fully only with clear light of the androgynous, solar, divine Christ, equanimity, and full awareness. Then disclosure, and you will shine. Okay, because that's your birthright, folks. Your birthright is to shine in the light of the sacred Christ while you're in the body. And so, when you remember this, when you remember even some of the original mind of the Creator, the false light matrix, the hologramic death trap of the Saturn Moon matrix, Yahweh, demiurge, reincarnation system will not seem so appealing or real to you once you've been getting these DNA upgrades, once you've been, even understand a fraction of what the sun can do. And you'll understand why this idea that the Buddhists brought is accurate. Your real mind is actually a blue, deep, rich, deep blue sky with the sun shining. Because we have been given this amazing gift of solar consciousness, awareness, that we are stars. We are all rays of the light of the Christ. Everybody is a star. Then we have them dumping. See this right here? Then we have them using direct energy weapons to try to knock a tree into my tent in the middle of atmospheric river. Now, that could be a coincidence, but I don't think so. If you enjoyed this, click subscribe and click and follow me. Follow me on Odyssey because I'm going to be working for the most part on Odyssey. And remember, you don't have to accept any of the false reality matrix, but it's going to take a lot of courage to work to where you only accept the divine original form, or work as well as work for that. For someone like me, it's not. If humanity doesn't stop Operation Space Fence in the next year or two, it doesn't seem like a ridiculous idea to me at all that I might have to literally be living in a glass greenhouse, growing my food and my cannabis and my sunbathing, and filter my air. Because, the ancient tantric Buddhist philosophy, the text I read, they always stress acceptance. Now, is this how they, were able to keep it going over the years? Well, yeah, it teaches you to divinize everything that the deceiver tried to invert and make profane, and teach you, through the pornography, the opposite of. But not only that, but all of your thoughts and actions have to eventually be in harmony with the Almighty. This doesn't mean spiritual bypassing. This doesn't mean la-di-da accepting the bullshit reality of the fake. No, this means, noticing how much the dark side has used our tools of superpowers of empathy and loving kindness against us, and then using their tools of microwave gadgetry against them, until it's only us, bringing the awareness of the oneness till it's only us, my folks. And create a great day, my family. I love you.